Definitely 27 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock, you are still listening to TUTFM 96.2. We amplifying voices, empowering lives, and welcome to another empowering edition of Kasi Entrepreneurship right here on the Groundbreakers, and where innovation meets inspiration. Definitely, this segment is proudly brought to you by Makopo.com, redefining the smart home experience from voice-controlled ovens to AI-powered home tech. Makopo.com is your trusted partner in luxury, smart living. Step into the future with home appliances that work as hard as you do. Definitely, let's build the township economy one entrepreneur at a time. And Mr. Makopo, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Madisha. How are you?
Definitely alive, cannot complain. I do take that you had yourself a wonderful day.
Yeah, no, I had a wonderful day.
Definitely should have a wonderful day. As a man that's hardworking as you need to definitely had a very great day. Because you know what? I remember last week when we were speaking about getting a massage. Did you ever go and get the massage?
No.
Oh, why
but
not?
Somehow I saw the invoice from Mr. Lesichan and I didn't have that time.
Yeah.
I never had luxury of time last week. Up until almost this afternoon, I still had the audit from the Department of Labor.
You still have to work.
Yeah, I still had to work. I still had to do ups and downs. There are a lot of things that we are introducing at work.
Sure.
And yeah, some of them has to do with some labor relations and stuff.
Sure.
So most of the things, like I didn't have that luxury. We had the appointment to say maybe we will go on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And then when that, I think one of them went to Polokwane.
Yeah, the sage was away from
we are a family. We said, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
If some won't be there, then let's go. Can we try this week?
Yeah. No, we will see. Remember, you are a busy man, and running a consortium of companies is definitely not a child's play.
I think on Friday...
you might be free. No, on Friday,
we are here.
We are here.
Yeah, on Friday we are
here. Friday we cannot.
but we are here.
Yeah, Friday we are here. Yeah. Friday is definitely...
From 9 to...
I think the whole It's a very we are very, I don't know how to put it. It's a long anticipated thing. We are looking forward to it, but we'll get more into it. But what's happening on tonight's show, Mr. Makopo? Anything interesting you find related to business or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, something that it's related, something that it's so interesting. What I can say to you is this: you said something. I think a few minutes ago. You said this. It's a platform whereby uncomfortable truth
meets courageous dialogue. Sure.
And not to say, Madisha, I can say we are a very responsible station.
Sure.
And the other thing, we also as the sponsors, we are responsible sponsors. But now it does not necessarily mean that we don't have to somehow confront the brutal facts that are before us, especially as young entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Without not necessarily being somehow controversial or xenophobic. I think when we spoke last week on Tuesday, we spoke about quite a lot of things, and even week before last on Tuesday as well, we spoke about the things, the informal, or should I say business activities that were actually supposed to be reserved or be ring-fenced only for an average, as long as it's a business that an average South African can do. Yes, and then we were saying, but now how can some people travel across large distances just to be here to fix our cell phones and so on? I think that time you were actually asking me about, or are they indeed opportunities available, or what are the new opportunities in the township or informal market? Madisha, I just want to say something. I want us today to actually approach the whole thing from a different perspective.
Yes.
And we being South Africans, or as an African state, we do not actually exist in isolation.
Yeah.
We are actually we are part and parcel of continental village and also a global village.
Yeah.
Meaning that whatever that we do, somehow we do have treaties, we are signatories to some of these continental agreements or trade agreements per se. So I want us today to actually focus on two things. We really need to brutally be honest to ourselves, and now we want to also extend the invitation not only to South Africans, but Africans as a whole.
Yeah.
Because this thing is something that actually affects almost everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Now,
before you continue, sorry, Mr. Makopo, for getting
Yes.
in. And let me remind our listeners that they can be part of this conversation by sending their questions, their comments on the WhatsApp number 012-382-9257. That is
Yes.
012-382-9257. You can definitely call in. Mr. Makopo will assist where you might need assistance. But be married. Be part of this particular conversation. We are definitely live on our Facebook and YouTube. Liseja and its episode will look into the questions coming in from the social media platforms. But you can definitely send your questions on 012-382-9257. Mr. Makopo, you were saying?
Yes. I was actually saying today, can we just face it as it is?
Yeah.
The issue of patriotism and protectionism. Because we always are they really big words?
Yeah, not pay Mr. Makopo. Yeah. We didn't go to St. Joseph's High School.
Oh wow. Secondary again.
Yeah.
Now my highest is matric. But we are having this conversation today.
Sure.
You know why? Because these are the things that are affecting us.
On
day-to-day
basis.
Yeah, education alone, we can just put it aside. But these are the things, these are the realities on the ground.
Yeah.
Hence the name of the show. So now, what we will be saying today, I want us to focus on those two things.
Let's get into it.
I think it was sometime last week, whereby it was on the 28th of July, one of the African partner states, Tanzania, which I think around October they are actually having national elections in that country, did something very unthinkable.
Sure.
We may say it's unthinkable because in our environment as South Africans, whenever you start saying or doing what that government did, we are most often labeled as xenophobic. When you try to come up with the efforts to somehow protect the local people or safeguard employment for local people. What Tanzanian government did through, I just want to go through some my notes here. What Tanzanian government did, what they did, they published what they call business licensing order, which actually prohibits non-citizens to participate in certain sectors of the economy. Yes. And then now, what happens now is this. Through this order, they are saying, if you are a non-citizen, you are not allowed to operate businesses that actually an average Tanzanian person can do.
Sure.
And this was actually issued under government notice number GN487A. And now what happens, Kehore? Now their Minister of Industry and Trade signed this thing into law. And then it's got repercussions if maybe you are a non-citizen
of Tanzania,
and then you go there, maybe a South African or Zimbabwean, and then you go there and then you start operating any business under this. And then now they're saying, should you be found operating any of these businesses, I just want to go and list them. You will see what we always talk about on this show. It's something say long not only to spark controversy, but it's something say long actually South African government needs to actually implement.
Yeah.
Because we always have these beautifully curated policies that we when it comes to execution, it's zero.
Sure.
Yes. Now they are saying, number one of the businesses that you are not allowed to open. Number one, the business of sale of goods on a wholesale and retail basis, excluding supermarkets, specialized product outlets, and wholesale centers for local producers. Number two, mobile money transfers. South Africa, in Tanzania, you're not allowed to open that kind of a business.
If you're not Tanzanian.
Okay. It's ring-fenced only for Tanzanians.
Okay.
Number three, the repair of mobile phones and electronic devices. Exactly what we were talking about, Mr. Marisha, last week. To say out of this, I gave you the statistic to say 92.1% of every household owns a
cell phone, sure.
And then I said to you, 45.34 million people of our population do have cell phones. And the list go on and on and on. And I said to you, who now fixes the cell phones? Charena, Hadi Singeha. And then in Tanzania, no one is allowed to open a cell phone repair store,
sure.
or any electronic
devices.
You're not allowed. Because they believe any Tanzanian can do that. And then a salon business. A salon business, and they're saying not unless you are doing it maybe for tourism purposes and also in a hotel. But you cannot maybe go in a mall or go maybe somewhere around in any of the shopping complexes or in any of our streets and open a salon business.
Sure.
That one is also ring-fenced only for Tanzanians. And then the other thing, home office and environmental cleanliness. All the cleaning businesses reserved only for Tanzanians.
Sure.
It's a criminal offense to be actually operating these businesses as from the 28th of July 2025. Small scale mining, small farming mining, small scale farming. You remember the day when we had Mrs. Karabo here? Yes, you're not allowed to actually operate. Now, there are quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
You can't even open a studio or radio, television. You are not allowed to open those kind of, this kind of setup.
Sure.
Yes. So now, here's the thing, Mr. Madisha, which is quite important. Should you be found operating any of these businesses, you will face a hefty fine of 10 million Tanzanian shillings. It's around 72,000 rand of
rents.
Sure. Or around 4,032 US dollars.
Yeah.
Or an imprisonment of 6 months if you are a non-citizen in that country.
Sure.
And then if maybe you are a citizen but you are just helping these non-citizens. You remember here in South Africa there was this national decree by our president to say, I want to see all the businesses, they must go and register.
Yes.
You saw some of South Africans were actually helping non-South Africans to actually comply or register with our municipalities.
Sure.
Now in Tanzania, if you are found doing that, the penalty is 3 months imprisonment and 5 million shillings. But now, if you are not a citizen, the other thing you may face also penalties whereby your visas can be revoked.
Sure. Let me get in there.
Yes.
Because now it makes an interesting conversation.
Yes.
Before I bring it locally into South Africa.
Yeah.
How would they know that but what they mean if they're saying not Tanzanian? What if I'm a South African person then decides to relocate to Tanzania?
Yeah. Citizenship.
Sure.
Now this is what make the matters worse, because actually the whole thing sent the shocking waves across the East. It's what they call East African Community. There are actually 8 member states that came together to say, when we trade amongst ourselves, we don't charge on certain products, we don't even have to impose the tariffs
on all of
whether the imports or the exports, whatever. We will just call them transfers. Haki reksheta ko Zimbabwe di tamati or coca, we will just call them transfers. Or this attract import duties and all those things.
Sure.
Now these countries are Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, Burundi, Uganda, Congo, and South Sudan. Now, this is the worst thing now. Kohorem. Now, that East Africa community, they are saying no, but now this undermines the spirit of, or the principles of this community, whereby what they want to achieve is to actually create the markets for young or small entrepreneurs.
Yes, sure.
Like maybe in South Africa, if your products, they do have the market in another region, maybe Zim or Eswatini. Somehow now we are able just to exchange, and then we buy and we do all those things. Now, I'm saying all these things because, Mr. Madisha, we here in South Africa, we had a lot of, this thing sparked a lot of, when South Africans were up in arms to say, no, can we reserve certain, because Tanzania, actually the argument is this, we're trying to protect, they're actually trying to protect their entrepreneurs against what they call the growing foreign competition.
Okay.
Because they are saying their entrepreneurs, they don't have enough budgets or amounts of monies to can actually compete with foreign investors.
So, with that being said, Makopo,
yeah,
I think it brings us to the underlying conversation within this conversation to then say, should then that policy or a principle be brought within the country?
No, most South Africa automatically we will be labeled xenophobic.
Xenophobic.
Yeah. We will be labeled xenophobic. More especially if we are actually part and parcel of what they call, what is this, African Continental Trade Agreement, something like that. Now, it undermines the spirit and principles of that agreement.
Sure.
But now, how can Kabelo Madisha? I'm asking myself for Hore, because now we are observing not only as South Africans, as other African countries.
Yeah.
Should what do you think? Do you think if every country can do that, don't you think maybe we won't have, or according to you, what is your take? Do you think South Africa must implement something like this, or other African states? That's my question to you.
Sure. And then I'll get in and then say, let's look at the pointers they've declared on before we get to the consequences of it all. Yes, we might then say it happens like that, but do then South Africans really have those skills? Then remember, when people come, it brings us this question back, illegal, should I say illegal immigrants, right, are then stealing our jobs. And then we look at those particular jobs, people are then saying those people, these illegal immigrants are then stealing. Do they really have the skill to then do those jobs? Let's look at people say,
do you think it's critical? It's a critical skill that we can import. Can we really import the skill of Hokata Miriri?
But what happens if
looking
at
the list that
sure. I was coming to it. Salon, salons, maybe repairing appliances, and sale of retail goods, maybe let's say vegetables and all of that.
Yes.
What happens when people don't want to do those jobs?
Do you think it's a matter of not wanting to do those jobs, or it's a matter or you just muscled out of the whole thing because you can't start? Remember one day I came up with the question, but who's funding these businesses?
Sure. Who's funding those businesses?
And somehow I was not famous because amongst my peers and people that I normally talk to, I could see how some had touched their nerves.
Oh yeah.
But this guy is promoting xenophobia.
Yeah.
And when I was actually that platform where I was, it's a platform whereby we confront uncomfortable truth. And then there's no way that we can just sit and keep quiet without actually talking about these things.
Yeah.
We really need to talk about these things.
Sure.
So I don't think, Madisha, none of these things that they have listed here. One of them, giddy deliveries, that I did not even actually the list go on and on.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't need critical skill actually to have a scooter and be the one doing the deliveries.
Yeah.
Because now informal sector goes Zambia equates to, or actually amounts to almost 80% of the Zambian workforce. That's what they are trying to protect.
Yeah.
And then their informal sector actually contributes more than 50% to their GDP, to their national economy. That's what they are trying to protect. They are saying, can we preserve these ones? We are saying anyone who wants to come can come and invest. But the question here, Madisha, maybe goes back to what Nalo and Arpelan Reblela Kayon. Are we willing, or it's just a matter of us not being able to face the competition? Because how can the history, this is actually the brutal facts that we really need to confront. We used to have shops in the informal sector. Somehow I believe they were actually muzzled out financially by this foreign competition, even here in South Africa. The shop somehow you had to be pushed out, because now there are a lot of disadvantages for you to be running those businesses. You end up actually pricing yourself way out of the market, because now you can't stock or you can't buy in big bulks for you to have this huge discounts. Now you're competing with someone where Longor is able to buy in big bulks. How can you compete now with someone where Longor only a huge supermarket and when you're buying at this scale?
Remember, in Hammanskraal, Kotemba, Fana store.
Yes.
It's
the one that bent. Is it the one that bent down?
Yeah, they just after it, but they've opened another one. They're fixing up the other one, right? But still, I don't think that's so activity stood. I am because of it's people who are then saying, we're gonna build this particular thing. The problem, the muscle comes into black people when, or not even to say black people, let me then say people when they don't have that particular mindset to then say we can do this. Now we are saying motho bulang saloon akera murir or alukisa ditlhako re tlo mo fina let's say for instance no 5,000 rands. Then we don't close those particular shops. I don't
believe or thing.
Why are they not opening up the shops now?
The issue, can you really face the competition?
In what sense?
Can you really compete with Bafana Cash and Carry?
No, that's big.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes.
Now that's what
they are big, but where are they? Bakokas. Exactly.
Yeah.
They are big, but where are they? Where are they operating?
So are you then saying that we are afraid of competition at this moment?
Not necessarily afraid. It's practically impossible. It's practically impossible for you to be selling maybe a tin fish here. It's supposed to be 20 rand and you are selling it ka 26 rand.
Why am I selling it at 26 rands?
Because you can't take... You can't take, there's this thing what they call economies of scale. When you buy the big bags, you get huge discounts. Per item, your price goes down. Let's say maybe I will give you an example. Let's say maybe if both me and you, we're selling these microphones. Okay. And then if I'm going to buy only 10 of these microphones, I will pay this amount. And then if I'm going to spend only maybe 5,000 rand on this 10 microphones, and Madisha comes now, buys the microphones steady worth 2 million, do you think he's still going to pay the same amount?
I get your sense. I get your point.
Now you won't be able to. And then the other thing, the networks, they've got a very huge network, distribution network, and it's practically so impossible. So now Tanzanian government realized it's practically so impossible for an average Tanzanian person. And then they said, no. We will criminalize this. It's against the law. You will go to jail. And they're saying, we understand or already you guys are hugely invested in these sectors that we just bad non-citizens. But now they're saying you can only operate up until where your license expires.
Yes.
But it cannot be renewed. For those by longer already, they are operating.
You know what, Ramakopo, 10 minutes before the hour 8 o'clock, because after 8 hour conversation will come to an end. Let's take a very quick ad break, take a breathe, and we'll come and finish off this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, what's your take on what Mr. Makopo is then reporting on? 012-382-9257, 012-382-9257. That is the number that you should be sending in your comments, your thoughts, your questions on this particular issue. And definitely we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. You can send in your questions there. Let's take a very quick ad break. We'll be definitely back after this. Definitely 5 minutes before the hour 8 o'clock, and soon after that, this conversation will come to an end. But Ramakopo, before we close it in, what's your final stance, or what's your final thoughts on how things should be done then? Given this, remember what the Saja was saying off air.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think should happen?
I think, Mr. Marisha, this will get me in hot waters, because normally how I run a business, you're not a politician. Somehow you're trying to be very careful in everything that you say, because you may be misconstrued or misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our government must just follow suit. Mm-hmm. Somehow, somewhere, I believe it's just that maybe we may not have all the facts. South African government, maybe they do have their own measures as to how they protect them. They protect the informal sector, or maybe small businesses. Remember one day we spoke about, is it the Immigration Act or so?
Sure.
The one that was saying you are actually allowed to come here in South Africa, open businesses, but when you open a business here, you must open a business that will require you minimum 5 million rand investment. Then I asked you the question, all the shops, Judy Bonang, or kind of businesses that you see, they are actually foreign owned. Are they, how the level do they worth 5 million?
Now, Alexi, Le Habibi,
yes, I think it's not a xenophobic thing. South Africa somehow it's over sensitive. But now to come up kadi policies or the patronage over the patriotic, over they are so protective of local industries. Remember, every country needs to protect the interests of its own citizens.
Sure.
Okay.
Before let me get in there, Ramakopo, so that I'll give you the platform to then close everything off, right?
Yes.
You know what? Something came just past my mind now to say South Africa at some point then needs to do that, right? The country needs to defend its people, but without being we're not coming harshly to then think people would then think we are xenophobic. Remember what Lisa was saying? Lisa, thank you so much for making me remind of that. 2018, 2020, 2013, we had such of a thing. I would take you Kokas, Kalin and Refuel. Where it happened that there's a big attacks and all of that, and the shops owned by foreign nationals had to close down. It was a tough 2 weeks. It was a tough 2 weeks, right? Tough. I don't want to lie. Tough 2 weeks.
I've witnessed incidences whereby I will give you an example. I think it's now the Premier of Limpopo,
Dr. Popira Motu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back then, I think she was still MEC of Health, and I think it was here in Bela Bela, whereby she was actually engaging with a foreign national lady who actually came down here to give birth. And then she was saying, to be honest with you, our national fiscus, when they allocate the budgets, they allocated the budget based on the statistics as to how many South Africans in Limpopo that I have. Now, if you guys come here to exhaust all what is budgeted for, I get it. Now, somehow it compromises the healthcare, the quality of healthcare that I supposed to give to our Limpopians or to my citizens. I get that actually she found herself in hot waters. There were civic organizations that somehow were just up in arms, labeling that move as xenophobic. Then we tend to forget, I think it was a few weeks ago when the government of Zimbabwe had to transport back, I think through a helicopter, so I need to get my facts right.
Sure.
Had to
fact checker.
Had to bring back South African citizens. There were 201 across the border. Baba Jampisha Musina to say, no, go to your own South African hospitals. To be attended to medical.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I just
saw that?
Yeah, I just didn't follow much into it, but I think I saw it. Yeah.
You saw it, ne?
Yeah.
Yes. But now when the MEC of Health, when she's saying, I don't have the enough budget allocated for everyone, but only for the citizens. And now your governments, somehow they need to look at the whole thing. She was labeled xenophobic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I got why.
But when now, and it was the same country, she was actually speaking to a Zimbabwean lady here in Bela Bela. But now, when that was happening to South Africans, the other side, they were actually brought back here with a helicopter so that they can get the medication and go back. Where when I get not so long, I think there were few people that were arrested in Zim for being there without having proper documentation. Some of them were South Africans. In fact, they did not just deport them, they were jailed. That's how strict these African countries are.
And then are you trying to then say at some point, not being controversial, that South Africa it's a puppy state where people
we embrace, or should I say, this is where lawlessness prevails. Yeah, it can only prevail here in South Africa. This is the environment whereby we allow that. I think South Africans, we are way too good. We welcome everyone, so which is not a problem, Madisha. We need to exist. We need each other as Africans. We need each other as global citizens. Because now South Africa cannot trade. We can't trade amongst ourselves. But we are saying, can there be a balance? Because it cannot be that in the spirit of trading with each other, it's only now South Africa that exercise that. And all these countries, what they do have, they implement their protectionist, economic, patriotic policies that actually reinforce all these market opportunities only to their citizens. And they are saying anyone comes after. So now, long answer to your question. I think as South Africa, we really need to be very much strict Because I believe somehow we have beautiful laws that if we can execute them, now you will see Hore, their high level of unemployment rate will go down. We will be able to safeguard the employment for locals. Should we say no, other businesses that South Africans can open, any average South African citizen can open. Now let's prohibit anyone to be, if you come here, it must be of critical skills. You must come here with maybe a very rare or scarce skills. You must come here investing in big factories also. But now you cannot come here to invest in a cell phone repair store. That must be reserved for South Africans.
Makopo, definitely 2 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. Let this conversation be on the airwaves, not let it continue rather,
yes,
on 012-382-9257, 012-382-9257. We'll definitely pick it up on a Thursday.
Yes.
Ramakopo, before I close it off, I give you a minute. Yeah. A minute to look into this camera.
A minute is too much.
Yeah, look into this camera and then give your closing remarks. We'll continue this conversation on Thursday.
Yeah, I think my closing remarks is very simple. Let's not confuse patriotism, hoba, protectionism with xenophobic.
Oh yes.
With being xenophobic. Every country must have the interest when it comes to protecting its own citizens.
Yeah.
That's my closing.
There's your closing lines?
Yes.
Sure. Then let me close it off like this. 4 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock, and that wraps up today's edition of Kasi Entrepreneurship right here on the Groundbreakers. Definitely big shout out to our visionary sponsor, Makopo.com, your home of a premium intelligent appliances designed for comfort, class, and convenience. Definitely visit Makopo.com tonight or even today to transform your space into a very luxurious smart home. So until next time, keep hustling, keep building, keep greatness. Right? Because greatness begins right here. Komakasan, in the heart of it. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. Let me take a very quick ad break. When I come back from that, Mr. Jimmy Kholele coming in from the National Credit Regulator.